Good morning. I'm drinking coffee in a teacup because I need to be fortified. Today, my friends, is a big day. We tackle a really, really challenging subject. And in fact, we can play a game if you want to. In fact, I'm very, very interested in playing a game, a very particular game, which I'm going to give you more details about in just a moment. Good morning. Welcome to sunny San Diego. And yes, it kind of is almost a little bit sunny today. It's bright. The sky is not blue, but it is bright. So that's the weather report section over. I'm Andrea Kuchin. This is My Home Biz Tips, brought to you by PhD in Follow-Up, where we help businesses grow by closing more sales, improving customer loyalty, and generating more referrals. How do we do that? By putting in systems for follow-up, systems in place that make it so much easier to do. Now, what is the result of closing more sales, having more loyal customers, and more referrals? You make more money. That's why we do it, so that we can make more money, right? Because we want our businesses to flourish. And some of us are flourishing and some of us are not flourishing. I am hearing people say money is easy to make. It's easy. Just go out and do it and make money. And I'm hearing other people to say it is so difficult making money. It is so hard. Now, the interesting thing is that it doesn't matter whether these people are business owners or whether they have a job. The reality for them seems to be the same. And that's a very interesting thing, because who's right? The person who says money is really easy to make, or the person who says it is so incredibly difficult to make money? Who's correct? Tell me, who do you think is right? Let me tell you, both of them. They're both right. Why? Because if you believe money is easy to make, you will make a ton of it. And if you believe money is very, very difficult to make, you won't make any. Why? Well, because your belief affects the actions that you take, right? And the actions that you take generate the results that you get, right? And the results that you get cause a balance in your bank account, which is either where you want it or not where you want it. Okay? So, where does your belief come from? And how real is it? And this is kind of a conversation that's a little bit like the chicken and egg that we had a little while ago, where we were talking about what comes first, your mindset or your actions. This is the same sort of same sort of thing, because the way that you believe something dictates the way that you take action about that thing, right? So if you believe that eating bread will make you fat and you don't want to be fat, the chances are you will not be eating bread. If, however, you believe that it doesn't make a damn difference what you eat, you are going to be fat and that is it. Are you fat? Are you eating bread? Yes, because it doesn't matter, right? And the result of eating whatever you feel like is that you are not in the body shape that you want to be. Whereas if you believed that bread had something to do with it and you stopped eating bread, you would arguably notice a difference, right? How many of you would tell me absolutely adamant to my face, I believe that I can make money and making money is not a problem. Making money is simple and easy. Okay, very good. Both, in fact. Excellent, good. Is that your experience? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's okay, but it could be a hell of a lot better. That's what I hear quite a bit. And that's what I'm experiencing myself. Could be better, right? Especially at the moment, because everything seems to be skyrocketing and going up and going crazy. And you go and buy a pint of milk one week and it's $3, and you go buy a pint of milk the following week and it's $5. I mean, and gas, petrol for those of you in the UK, has gone up to well over $5 and nobody's even saying anything about it. In fact, locally to where we are, it's now over $6 for a gallon. I mean, the prices in America are almost at the level that they have been in Europe for many years. This is just absolutely nuts. And this is not a political conversation. This is a money conversation. So the effect of all this happening, of you actually are paying way more for everything you are buying than you were a few months ago, is that unless your income is also going up, you're going to have a problem. Not necessarily today, not necessarily this week, not necessarily this month, not even necessarily this year. But if this carries on at the rate that it is carrying on, a lot of us might not survive to the end of this year. Okay, so whatever position you are in, you probably want to be making more money. Because one thing I have noticed is that when your income goes up, oddly, your expenses seem to go up as well. And you find yourself proportionately actually in the same place you were before. Because one of the reasons is that now suddenly you can afford a whole load of things that you weren't able to afford before. Like, you know, Prime isn't enough, Netflix isn't enough. Now you have to have Hulu and Disney and everything else as well. So you're spending significantly more than you were before. Even though you're making more, you're actually left with as little in afterwards, if anything, as you were before. So going back to our beliefs. So some of you, I know, and myself for sure, just said, oh yes, I believe that I can make as much money as I need. I believe that I can make money. I believe that making money is easy. Yes. Where do you believe it? Because I completely and utterly believe it here. Most of the time. Absolutely, completely believe it here. Is this what drives me, though? What about here? Because here is probably where I'm not believing it. I'm not even aware of the fact that I don't believe it. Because intellectually, with my brain or my mind, intellectually, I do believe it. Of course I believe it. In fact, I am way more clever than a lot of people I know who make lots of money. Consequently, I obviously am able and capable of making tons more than they do, right? Yes, of course. I'm also a good communicator. I can make myself understood to people in more than one language and in writing. And I have lots of different products and opportunities available that people can have. But there's still something missing. And this is not only a story that I've lived, it is a story that I am seeing every single day. So when I talked about the chicken and the egg, if you remember, I suggested that taking action might be the solution or the starting point, because I was talking about, is it your mindset or is it not? And I suggested you take action, you can change your mindset. You don't have to wait for your mindset to change in order to be taking action. You can actually take action and that will change your mindset. Why? Because you will have a win. You will have a success of some kind. Something will go right, even if just based on mathematics. It has to, because it is mathematics and the universe does not work in absolutes. In other words, you cannot reach out to dozens and dozens and dozens of people and not make a sale. If your intention is to make a sale, it doesn't matter how bad you are. The law of mathematics is not absolute. So you cannot not make a single sale or not have a single success. It's just mathematically not possible. Now, whether you actually follow up and communicate and close the sale and make some money is a different matter. But if you're communicating with lots of people, you are building trust, having conversations. At some point, what you sell is going to come up in conversations, whether you make that happen or not. And then you're either going to close or you're not. And a lot of that depends on how good your follow-up is. Okay. But taking action has to lead to some success of some kind. Even if it's only learning that that particular platform or message doesn't work. And I know that sounds like I'm making excuses for failure, but learning that something is not working is part of figuring it all out. Didn't the light bulb take 10,000 iterations before it actually worked? Or is 10,000 just one of those numbers that comes from martial arts? You know, you need to practice a kick 10,000 times in order to get it right, or whatever it is. Those are big numbers. And I promise you, you do not need to reach out to 10,000 people in order to make a sale or learn a lesson. So here's my thing for the day. This is going to be very interesting because your response to this is going to show where your beliefs lie. Are you going to say, of course, Andrea, that's easy? Or are you going to say, that sounds great, Andrea, but it's obviously too good to be true? In which case, let me help you, please. Call me. Let's have a conversation. This would probably be a reasonably good point to show you how to reach out to me. Our website is phdinfollowup.com. You can email me at andrea@phdinfollowup. I will respond. It comes to me. It doesn't go to my assistant. It actually comes to me. I have a telephone number. Again, comes to me. 858-252-1190. 858-252-1190. Or you can join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/PhD and follow up. And you can learn this information and interact about it. That's the really important thing. Okay. You can interact about it. Right. Now you know how to reach me. This is what I'm telling you. I'm actually inviting some people to play a game. I'm inviting, and I would really quite like the people who think this is rubbish. I'd really rather like to work with them, because I'd like to, I was going to say prove them wrong, but you know what? I don't want to prove them wrong, because I don't want to have an argument. I want to show them what they are capable of. I want to show them that it is easier to do than you think. Now, I have lots and lots of different opportunities. I have MLM businesses that are connected to the tools that we use with our follow-up, our greeting cards, our digital business cards. I've got health products even. I've got CRM systems. A lot of those are connected to MLM products, right? Or affiliate marketing products, right? In other words, you bring a client to that company, they will pay you a commission. It's all perfectly legitimate and above board. And if you're running a business, or if you have a human body, these products will help you. Now, they're not necessarily my MLMs. I'm not necessarily involved in the MLMs or the affiliate marketing arrangements myself. It could be someone I know. It could be a relative. It could be somebody who works for me in some capacity. It could be a friend. It could be a referral partner, because I have a lot of referral partnerships, because I can't manage all those things myself. But I have been playing a new game the last few months that I have talked to you about, which I can use to show you exactly how easy it is to make money. Obviously, you need an investment. It doesn't have to be much. Really, it doesn't have to be much. And there are many different levels. And you can promote it and generate income, or sit back and see what happens. Most people sit back and see what happens to get trust, to develop faith, to develop excitement, right? To see what will happen. Then when they see what's happening, they think, holy moly, it is this easy to do. I can do it in 45 seconds a week. Yes, I can do it in 45 seconds a week. Then they get excited, and then they start to share, right? And yes, I might make a little bit of money on that, or I might not. It doesn't matter. The important thing is you will make money. You will make money so easily that when I first give you the details about it, which I'm not going to do here right now, but when I first give you the details, you're going to go, I'm sorry, I just don't believe it's true. Now, for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, these are financial tools I'm talking about. In the financial world, they are called instruments, I believe. And an instrument is something that can enable you to generate income. So imagine that you have an Amazon store. You can find a product and you can sell it on that Amazon store. And ideally, you want to buy a product that costs you $3 and you want to sell it for $6, $8, even $10, right? Because there are fees. So you're going to have to pay some fees. You've got to pay the $3 to buy the product. You've got to pay sales fees. You might have to pay shipping fees to get it to you. And then you want to make a profit. So the more you can sell it for, the more profit you make. Now, you'll probably look on other Amazon stores to see how much they sell for. And you might say, well, I don't want to be the most expensive because people won't buy from me. I don't want to be the cheapest because people might think my product isn't as good. So I'll go sort of somewhere in the middle and I'll promote like heck. Oh, then I've got to pay marketing people or advertising. So you have to balance how much you charge against how much you spend. What remains is your profit. That's quite a lot of effort. And it's a bit hit and miss, right? Can you see the advantage to being in a group where somebody's already done the research of where to get the product, whatever that might be, at the cheapest price, how much to pay for the shipping, the marketing, whatever else it is, you're putting your own branding on it, whatever, how much to pay for that. And then the trick for working out the algorithm so that when somebody searches for that on Amazon, you get to the top. Do you see how valuable it would be for you to connect yourself to a group like that? Do you see how when the group manages to then buy this $3 product for $1 because they found somebody that, because they're now buying wholesale, because they're buying way more of them, they can get them for only $1. And because prices are going up, they can actually charge $12, which means you're making $6 or $7 on each one. Can you see how you can start to make money that you didn't think was possible when you first set out in this Amazon game? I use Amazon as an example because I'm pretty certain that most of you, if you're not actually using it yourselves, understand the concept of buying at wholesale, marking up for a profit, and to cover your other expenses, and then selling at retail cost. I think most of you understand how that works. Now, it works in other areas as well, and it works in the area of money, right? It's exactly the same thing. Money in one country in exchange for money in another country creates a margin for profit. You know this because in the old days, when you were traveling to a foreign country, you had to go to the travel agent or an exchange bureau and give them your own currency and receive currency from them that you could then spend in the country that you were going to. So if you were going to go down to Mexico, you know, we're still in San Diego here. So if you were going to go down to Mexico, you went to the agent, you gave your dollars, he gave you pesetas, and you went off to Mexico and you spent your pesetas. Then you came home and you had some pesetas left over. Now, coins, they don't take. So your coins you've already lost. You have to write them off as a bad debt, or stick them in a jar so that when somebody you know says they're going to Mexico, you can give them a few coins, something like that, okay? Or when you see someone begging in the street who looks as though they might be Mexican, you can give them some coins, something like that. But as far as your ability to use them, that's dead. That arguably counts towards your expenses. But when you take your pesetas into the change bureau and ask for dollars, they don't give you the same amount. They don't give you the same rate. When you bought the pesetas and gave your dollars, you gave more dollars for fewer pesetas. When you then go back to the bank afterwards with your leftover pesetas to get dollars, you have to pay more pesetas to get fewer dollars. So what happened here? The price depends on the commodity that is being purchased, right? So you want something, it's more expensive. Simple. And the bank has to make a profit. The exchange bureau has to make a profit. They've got to pay the guy that's sitting there, right? They have to make a profit. So the two numbers are not the same. So it's the same principle as your Amazon store or your Etsy store or selling stuff on eBay. or doing a swap meet or a yard sale. It's all the same principle. You buy at a price, you use or you don't use, you sell at another price. Somewhere in the middle there is your profit. I know somebody who works in clothing. She's a fashion, well, appearance, clothing, makeup, that kind of thing. She actually makes makeup now. She used to be a guru in the fashion world, telling people, you know, what clothing suited their body shape best. She now works in makeup. And she sometimes buys insanely expensive pieces of clothing. And then she calculates how much they are going to be worth per wear. So she will then say, okay, I've bought this ridiculous expensive scarf, but it can go with 30 different outfits. And I'm going to wear those 30 different outfits over a period of 3 months or 6 months. So effectively, my scarf will have eventually, if I can wear it for 10 years, although it cost me hundreds and hundreds of pounds or dollars or whatever it is, it's only going to cost me 50 cents per wear because I'll be wearing it that often. Whereas a bridal gown, you wear once, or a bridesmaid's outfit, you wear once. You might try and wear it again at another event at some point. A ball gown, a party dress, you see where I'm coming. That has very little flexibility. So your rate per wear is extremely high. But the scarf that you can wear with 30 different outfits, the rate per wear is incredibly low because it's so versatile, right? So it's a really good buy, even at an insane price. So I'm digressing a little bit from my original concept. The original concept was, I want you to join me in a game. And that's the way I'm looking at it, because that's how lighthearted the viewpoint on it has to be, to show you how easy it is to make money. Just in the example that I told you just now about the currency exchange and the trading, and currency exchanging is an instrument, right? The exchange that you have when you buy your foreign currency and you then sell your foreign currency, the bank makes money. You think it was difficult for the bank to make money? No, not at all. Right. Imagine if I had an ATM and I put it in, I don't know, in a snack bar in a university where all the students go for their snacks. And I put an ATM in there or somewhere. Or something like a swap meet, an ATM at a swap meet. That's a good one because a lot of the traders don't take cards. They want cash. So people are forced to get cash. So I give cash. They give me a card payment that has expenses because I have to pay processing fees. But if I can get $1 or $2 on top of that, every single transaction, I get $1 or $2, right? You use that money. I use that money to pay for maybe the rent for the spot that it's sitting on, buying the machine in the first place, getting someone to go and fill it up. Okay. I have enough of these machines spread over San Diego or California or the United States or the globe or whatever it is. And those little $2 here and there are adding up significantly. That's another instrument that you can use to make money. And it's really easy. I'm not saying that it isn't complicated for the person who's doing it, but it is easy because if you could have a stake in the company that owns the ATMs, then it would be easy, wouldn't it? Because they're doing all the work and you're giving them some money and then they are sharing some of their return with you. You would not believe how easy some of these things are. You would not believe how much can be generated, even if it looks like pennies at a time. You wouldn't believe how much can be generated. Let me leave you with one thing, but let me have another gulp of coffee first. one more little thing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bulletproof coffee. Oh, with collagen and polycosonol. Gorgeous. Okay, so do you have a credit card? Heck yes. Are you able to pay your credit card off every month? Maybe you used to be able to before COVID. Maybe some of them you are, some of them you aren't. Maybe you're paying them all off, in which case that's okay. Most of us aren't. When they charge you interest, the amount that you owe them goes up. And then they charge you a little bit more interest. And then every time you make a payment, you pay a percentage towards the principal, which is the amount that you borrowed, and you pay a percentage towards the interest. And then they add more interest. So effectively, you are paying interest on top of interest on top of interest. I don't know whether you've ever worked out how much that credit card is going to cost you by the time you've actually paid it off if you're making the minimum payments. I bought a flat condo in London a long time ago for £40,000. Wasn't very big, but it was gorgeous. And I lived in it for a long time, and I then sold it. During the time that I was living there, I figured out that if I stayed living there and I continued to pay the mortgage off until the mortgage finished, which would have at that point been about 20 years, if I did that and I paid off the mortgage, the flat would have actually cost me, in other words, the real amount of money that I paid for it because of repaying the loan would have been over £150,000. It would have been over £150,000 because I borrowed 40, but then I had to pay the interest on the 40. Now, in those days, interest was, I don't know, 4, 5, 6%, something like that. That is an insane amount of money. There are actually ways that you can reduce that amount of money as well. So it's easy for the bank to make that money. If you are playing a game that has the same kind of things in it, like running ATMs or having foreign currency or lending money to people, those kind of things, you can make money really easily. If you share these ideas, you can make money even more easily. There are also ways you can save money on things that you're spending, like your mortgage or your credit card payments. I am more than happy to talk to you in more detail or connect you to the people who can talk to you in more detail about the things I've suggested. What is important for me is that you leave this conversation knowing that it doesn't matter what you believe about whether it's easy to make money or not. It actually is. And if you are going to be brave enough to play a new game, you will see for yourself how easy it becomes. Then what happens? Your belief increases. And because your belief increases, that reflects in other things that you are doing. And you will get that pay raise that you've been dreaming about. Or you will get that better job. Or you will close that additional client. Because your belief's gone up, because you experienced a win with something that you were brave enough to try, which is exactly what I was telling you about in the chicken and egg video, which I was so proud of. It's not necessarily your belief that you have to change first in order to be able to take action. If you take action, that can help you change your belief. And there you are, my friends. That's it for today. So who's with me? Who's interested in playing a game where you'll actually experience how easy it is to make some money? Huh? Who's interested in playing that game? Reach out to me. You know where to find me. I wish you all the very best. Lots and lots of love. And I'll see you here again next week. Same time, same place on Tuesday. Take care. Have a great week. Bye-bye.